In it.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV here. Thank you so much if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live and wherever you're watching from the world. Thank you so much for being here to join us with the legendary Jacqueline Murphy. We have so many things that we need to talk about, from writing to directing to award winning and all the fun and not so fun stuff in between. So, Jacqueline, what do you have to say to the positivity posse before we get started?
Don't let anything hold you back. Just keep moving forward. Even if you move the needle just a little bit each day, just keep going, believe in your dream, and empower yourself. And because other people will feel that confidence and energy, and they'll want to latch on to you, your charisma will get everything rolling.
Definitely. So, everybody, what did I tell you? That's just a small preview of what's going to be going on. And also, Jacqueline used to be a nurse. So, Jacqueline, you know what the great thing about being a nurse is, right?
That you're helping others, healing others.
See, look, she's so modest. No, that means you are beautiful enough to stop their hearts, but smart enough to revive them and bring them back to life. So, everybody, welcome to the show, and let's
Love
get started.
that. I
Welcome to the show, everybody. Up, let me put myself a little bit bigger. And I know you want to see my pretty face, so there it is for everybody as well. Thank you so much for being here and watching live and leaving your comments. I see you guys, the Positivity Posse is already lighting it up in there. I see a hashtag Positivity Posse. Thank you, Jeanette. We appreciate that. Beatrice Davis, thank you for the connection as well. And this will be a great show. It's always a great show when we come together and really pour this awesome energy into the universe and into ourselves to learn more about what really makes somebody successful versus being along in the journey or not being so successful. But we have the top talent here, especially with Jacqueline. We are going to really dive deep into what makes a successful career. And you can just tell from the beginning that we just had in the conversation, just beautiful from the inside out. So thank you so much, Jacqueline, for being here today. But you know, we got to spend our time together with the Positivity Posse. So today, what I wanted to talk to everybody about is kind of being scared of doing the things that we need to do. So if I had to sum it up, or if there's one sentence that you can take from this episode, here it is: the magic is in what you are afraid to do. So I know for me, there's some things that I should be doing that maybe I might get a little scared about, or I'm maybe a little bit shaky or not so confident in carrying it out. But you know, for me, it's social media posting, and I'm going to be honest with you guys because you know we're always transparent. I should be posting a little bit more than I am right now, but that is when the magic is truly going to happen. And like I said, that's for me. For you, you might be afraid to go to the gym or sending out those emails or meeting somebody new and going out of the house to, network or whatever it is. You know what it is, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Once you overcome that fear, and you start doing the thing that you need to do, that is when the magic will start to happen. People will come into our lives that we would have never even expected. Awards or maybe pieces of articles that celebrate you, right? I've gotten so many inquiries about magazines that want to do pieces on me, and there's all of these things that happen I would have never seen coming if I would have never, if I would have just kind of hidden silence and been just a timid soul. We can't be doing that. We have to go out there and really shine our light to the world because your unique gifts are only special to you. And if you are not going out there and sharing it with the world, then we are robbing the next person that might be might find that inspiration, or is going through the same thing as you, then they won't be inspired. And if we don't have a world full of inspired people, then it's not going to be as wonderful and lovely as we know it can be. So there it is, everybody. The magic is in the thing that you're afraid to do. So, and like I said as well, there's some great things developing for me in Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I know I showed you guys before the article that I got last year in the summertime, and now I don't know if I can tell you guys too much, but shout out LA has reached out and they want to do a piece here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV because of the positivity posse. It wouldn't be possible without you. And we have 50,000 viewers every month coming in and sharing this wonderful, wonderful energy. So thank you. This is a win for us as well because it wouldn't be possible without you. So we have so many things that we need to talk about when it comes to Jacqueline's story, but I just want to talk about these two comments. I'm hopping over to watch on YouTube. Thank you, Lou. We appreciate that. And your comments will still come through whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. And we have Carmen here dropping the hashtag positivity posse. So thank you, everybody. It's time to welcome Jacqueline onto the show. I'm telling you, this episode is going to be amazing. It already is because you showed up. Jacqueline has showed up. And when two or more people come together, you can just feel the magic working inside each and every one of us. So thank you, everybody, for being here. It's time to welcome Jacqueline onto the show. Please leave a fire emoji. Welcome, Jacqueline. Anything that you can do to show your love for Jacqueline coming onto the show. Jacqueline, what are you doing? Stop practicing your directing in the background. It's time to come onto the show. Oh,
Hey.
I'm not Jacqueline. Please. Now there's the real Jacqueline right there. Thank
Hi,
you so much.
everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm happy to be here. There's magic in everything that we do, and beautiful energy, and good vibes, as you say on your show. Yeah, so I just want to say hi to everybody and my friends, whoever's tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And I guess the biggest thing I want to say is we all have dreams, and don't be afraid. Don't let fear get in the way. Just tell yourself, I can do this, and take little steps, no matter what those steps are. But just keep moving yourself ahead. Because if you don't empower yourself, no one else will. And you might have a great spouse, which I do, and beautiful friends around me, and those, they're all blessings. But it all starts with you, and taking care of yourself, and nourishing yourself, and soothing your soul, and doing what you need to do to take care of you. So
Yeah, definitely. And that's a beautiful way to start out. What did I tell you, everybody? She's absolutely amazing. And even to everything leading up to this point, Jacqueline, you've been one of the people that has been, actively engaging with the promo and the phone call that we had yesterday. I thought I was going to be in trouble, but it ended up being something that needed to happen to make this show more beautiful. So I think that's a perfect way to start the show. So I know when it comes to especially the acting industry and the entertainment world, we may kind of have those fears and those insecurities that may prevent us from even starting. So, can you talk about if that's ever happened to you and how you overcame those fears or insecurities?
yeah, I mean, I guess it's we're human beings, and we all have fear in us. But for me, I'm a survivor. I think you've had it hard coming up. I was very touched by some of the things you said about yourself, Dano. And really, at the end of the day, the only way past your fear is through it. So try to figure out a way that, just to put one foot in front of the other. Um, and you know, if you're an actress, make your self-taping space a sacred place where you can have fun. If you resonate with music, play some music to get your head into a place so you can bring all of you, and just have a party. have a party for yourself that, for example, I had in the last couple days, I had 3 auditions to get out, and there was a lot of dialogue. So I take my phone and I put it on my voice memo, and I have my lines so that even when I'm driving, I'm paying attention, but I have the lines in my body. So then when I turn on the camera and I'm getting ready to send in the self tape, it's like I got the choreography in my mind down so that I could dance and I could put in a move or a feeling, or, so just try to have fun with everything you do. Um, yeah, and just take good care of yourself, because fear is an everyday occurrence, even in caveman times. There was always fear, and then there was always pleasure. So try to get to the spectrum of where you can enjoy yourself, and then the creativity opens up.
I agree with you 100%. And there's certain things that we need to do in our lives to make sure that we are experiencing that happiness and that joy and that creativity every day. I know for me, meditation is the biggest and easiest way that I can do every single day, no matter how long, if it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, to find that joy and to find that creativity every single day. And I know, Jacqueline, for you, yoga is a big piece. Can you talk a little bit why yoga resonates with you so much and why you love it?
Thank you for asking that, Dana. There are certain things that are just intuitive in all of us. Like, we all have hidden talents that you don't even know you have. And if you don't try things, you're not going to know. So when I was in my 20s, before yoga was a thing, and I want to just reach out to Jeanette. She said, Jeanette, thank you. I'm glad that I'm on the show with Dano, and I'm glad you loved all my children. It was great. I'll talk about how I segued playing a real nurse into a soap opera nurse. But back to your question about yoga, before it was a thing, it resonated with me. And to the point, one day the teacher didn't show up, and all the older women asked me if I would teach the class, and I did. Um, but yoga gets you into your breath. So I think that if you're really stressed, just 1 minute of breathing in and out, breathe in for 8, hold it for 6, breathe out for 8. Whatever it is, have these like little techniques that you give to yourself so that you could move through whatever you're going through. Even my sister Cindy, she may be on. She was sharing something with me today. She was anxious about something, and she's sitting in this doctor's office, and the walls are closing in. And she looked at her phone, and she did something that was pleasurable for her. So when you feel like something's going wrong, just take a breath and figure out, what can I do in this moment now? It's this moment. It's not tomorrow when I have to take my driver's test. It's, or RN test, or go for the big audition to Netflix, which I wish and hope that'll happen soon. But yeah, so I think I love that you're doing meditation. I love that you're doing yoga. And as the world has so much noise and so much is coming at us, we have to do things to take care of ourselves.
Hmm.
Also, like, I try to start my day off working out, making your bed first thing. It's like, boom, got that done, and just do little things. And I'm a pretty disciplined person, but I like to color out of the lines also. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you 100%. When it comes to making my bed in the morning, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a great thing to do. I don't do it every single day, but that is something that I need to do and to work on a little bit more. So this is my sign to take that. So I appreciate that, Jacqueline. You just helped me improve myself that much more in what we need to do every day. Like you said, it is a discipline. And I know it wasn't always like that. Like you said, before you knew that yoga was a thing, you grew up in a household with you're the eldest of six. And I know with those experiences and the happy experiences of yoga, they have all shaped you and helped tailor your, actressing and your directing and just your creativity side. So let's talk about that a little bit. How has the relationships with you and your siblings, how did you carry that over into your creative projects?
Well, as you said, I'm the oldest of 6. And I think I'm a bit of a ringleader, a I get everybody to get going. Like I was at an event the other night, and I could tell people were shy, and I said, "Let's get a group picture." So I would come up with various skits for us to play growing up, and thank God I had great fun. Brothers and sisters, they all followed along. But the other thing was that my mom was an artist, and she could paint beautifully. She would sell her paintings, not always for a lot of money, but that was her creative joy. And to see that firsthand growing up, to see your parent working on beautiful things and sharing it with you, was amazing. So she was very strict. I mean, I had to, I would be helping with the laundry and the dishes and, all that kind of thing. But she knew how to see the beauty in life. She would, if we were, struggling and we didn't have money to go on a vacation, which we never did growing up. I can't remember one vacation the whole family went on, but we had a little pool in the backyard, a 4-foot pool. She would say, "Look at that beautiful sunset. Look at that squirrel." And that's the other thing with yoga and breath. Tune into nature, tune into the beauty around you, because that again is going to feed you. And again, back to my mom, she encouraged artistic expression. And for some crazy reason, Dano, she could play any song she heard on the piano. So if I would say, "Hey, Ma, I really like that song," she'd go down to the piano, sit on, and start playing. And I was fortunate to have 3 years of piano lessons that my hardworking grandma treated me to. And they said I could have been like a classical pianist, if I wanted to. The best time to learn music usually is between third grade and eighth grade. And that's, I started in third grade, but we moved and I had to stop taking the lessons, but I still know how to read music and play. But all these like creative things that you see around you, if they resonate, go for it, try it out. And I never even knew I had a hidden talent for painting until I was, well, 30s to 40s. I don't want to give my age away. And I took a painting class, and someone from the Museum of Modern Art came and saw my first piece. It was like 3 feet by 5 feet. It was a mannequin. And they said, "Who did this?" And they were really interested, and I thought, wow, this is fun. But I realized I couldn't do both acting and painting wholeheartedly because, even now as I'm acting and I'm writing and directing, all these new projects that I'm getting involved in, you have to pick and choose and focus. And that is also where the discipline comes in. And that's where, you were saying some days you don't want to make your bed. Well, here's my little helper, my little notepad. And
Yeah.
I up in the morning and I just write the most important things that I need to do to get done,
Mhm.
and then you feel good when you check them off the list. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. It's great that you have those reminders set in place. I know for me, it's always going to the gym. That's where I like to listen to my audiobooks. And at night, I always sleep with those positive affirmations in my ear. Not directly in my ear, but a little bit of ways away so that it processes. And yeah, these things that they're so vital to the success of everything that we do. So to everybody that's watching out there, I know you have, maybe if you don't have anything, start today, figure out something. It can be journaling, it can be listening, it can be reading, painting, anything that you feel comfortable and at ease. Just make sure that you're always actually practicing these great vibrations as well. And I know, Jacqueline, when it comes to writing and directing, it's like you said as well. When you have that breath, number one, your breath is free; you don't have to pay for it. Two, it's the closest thing that you got to tune into and tap into. And then number three, it's one of the easiest practices. After you've practiced for some time, it just becomes second nature to you. So just pick it up, everybody, as soon as you can. Yeah, and Jacqueline, I really want to talk about the topic that I talked about earlier, and I believe in the law of attraction, and when we are vibrating at our highest, great things will start to happen. So, can you tell us about something that has maybe blindsided you, and in a I guess I should say, a great surprise that has happened to you in your career that you just did not expect to see it coming at all?
Yeah. Um, Well, it usually, Dano, revolves around like when I was just hanging on, hanging at set. And here's a funny story. My first speaking part was 2 blocks away from my apartment in New York City. It was at Sotheby's on 72nd in York. And the casting director called me and she said, "We want you to be the co-check girl in Sotheby's." I said, "Fine." So Ivan Reitman was the director of Ghostbusters and he was directing this film. And he comes over to me and he says, "Young lady, I'd like you to be in a scene opposite Robert Redford." And so I said, "Sure." So I'm so excited. And we break for lunch and I go home and my apartment's around the corner and I call my grandmother and mom and I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to have a part opposite Robert Redford." And I say, "I know what I'm going to say to him." Because when I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts on Madison and 31st Street, they had in the lobby pictures of Kate Jackson, who I looked at like at that time, Robert Redford. So I said, "Oh, I know. I'll just say that we're alumni." So he comes onto set, and he couldn't have been more charming. And I say that, and he's very sweet. And Ivan was a wonderful director. His son Jason Reitman is a director now. And I didn't know what I was doing. And he said, "Come close to the camera and like hug it, like, you're going to give it a bear hug." And Robert did his lines first, and then they did the reverse shot with me. And then it was like, "Cut, great work." And then, I'm done. And I am flying high. And then it happened in like shortly after again, I'm on set and I was a very serious actor. I was studying with Stella Adler at the time, who's an icon. And I'm reading a play. And Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, it was his first movie that he directed, 3 Men and a Baby, with Ted Danson, Tom Selleck, and Steve Guttenberg. He comes over to me, and I'm dressed in a British Airways stewardess outfit. He said, "Young lady." I said, "Yes, nice to meet you, Mr. Nimoy. I would like to try something. The three guys are going to run up to you as the plane is leaving, and all you have to say, 'It's right there, but it just left.'" So my heart, Dana, was beating a mile a minute. I mean, talk about fear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I hope he keeps us in. I hope he keeps us in." And so we do it. And he goes, "Great work. Okay, let's shoot it. Let's do it." And boom, it's one shot. We did it in one take, done and dusted. So I could probably, like, living in New York in my early 20s as a young actress was fantastic. I mean, it was back in the day where you could walk into agent's office and give them your headshot, and then maybe you'd get a call to work on hard copy and do a reenactment. Or, at the time I had beautiful hands, and so some agents said, "Your hands are gorgeous." So I did a commercial for Vaseline Intensive Care, and I got paid 16 days to dry my hands out, and then 16 days to get them back into shape. I mean, that it was just such a different world. And even
Yeah.
on All My Children, I got cast as Nurse Thomas, and I had scenes opposite Susan Lucci and great actors there. Ruth Warwick was in Orson Welles' movie, the Rosebud movie. I forget the name; it escapes me right now. But anyway, I got called up to casting, and I thought, "Oh my God, what the hell did I do wrong?" But in fact, they said, "You are so great with your acting downstairs and helpful to the directors. Would you make a resume up as a medical consultant? Because we'd like to hire you and pay you for both jobs." I mean, talk about angels on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when you said, like, that's the perfect example of what you just said, of things that you could have never planned for. You're
no,
doing acting and you're getting paid for it.
yes, yeah, yeah. So just hone in on what is unique and authentic about you. And I was listening to someone talk the other day, and I never really even honed into the fact that I'm a ringmaster, getting people together. But
Mhm.
I've been doing it ever since I'm a kid, and I love to include everybody. And I love to have fun with people. And if that is my happy place, like my niece Stacy would say, and that's my zone, then use that. You know, I feel like you have a fantastic heart and you've had a lot of struggles, and there's so many of us that have had that. And so that's the fuel for writing my script, Yellowbird, about drug addiction.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, we're going to talk about Yellowbird a little bit later.
yeah.
Definitely, Jacqueline. And we have to take a quick commercial break to hear a word from our sponsors. But when we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about Yellowbird and actually what it's all about. And everybody, please, this is your opportunity to ask any questions for the legendary Jacqueline Murphy here. So we're going to take this 1 minute break. Make sure you're getting those fingers ready to type your questions in the break, because we'll be right back with some more Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Stay tuned, everybody.
Years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
So everybody, that Symposium. If you remember last year, I was there where we spoke to over 300 kids in the Chicago area, and I was the MC as well. So we're having talks about. Oh wait, that was actually 2 years ago. My apologies. Last year they were in Romania, but we're having talks about. Everything's still early, but we might go back there if everything goes right. So thank you to the Power of We for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And now it is time to go back to the great action and the great life of Jacqueline Murphy. So Jacqueline, you just mentioned Yellowbird, and it was about opioids, but give us a little glimpse on what Yellowbird is.
Okay. So it's based on some personal experiences when I was a registered nurse in New York Hospital, but I really pivoted and felt it was something I could spend a lot of time on, Dano, when someone I love so much, a younger person in my life, became addicted to opioids. And I thought, what can I do to help this person? So my husband and I pulled some resources together, and we helped him get into rehab and that kind of thing. But then going down the road, it's like, okay, everybody who's listening tonight, what's your voice? What are you passionate about? What do you want to say? What are you going to, if you writing a script or spending time, it's going to take years, unless, all of a sudden you get super lucky and, maybe Leonard Nimoy will come down from heaven and say, I'll do this one for you. But the thing is, it does take a lot of time. So your passion and your, what you want to say is so important. So during COVID, I took a writing course, feature film. And after a year, I got into a couple of Sundance labs, and I started working on Yellowbird, also known as Opioid Days. And I embellished it using my own experience. It's about a nurse recovering from addiction who meets a pharmaceutical heiress who is an addict. And they discover that their fathers are flooding opioids onto the market for greed. The nurse's dad is a biochemist, a Nobel winning person with a gambling addiction, and the pharma king wants to just make a lot of money. So, So that's Opioid Days, Yellowbird.
Yeah.
And
I just want to clarify. It's Opioid Days, DAZE, to everybody that wants to know more about it as well.
like we're in a daze, yeah.
Yeah.
But Yellowbird is based, I was telling you about how my mom loved nature.
Mhm.
And every now and then we would see this beautiful little yellowbird come. And boy, could that bird sing. It was like this small and it had the most beautiful voice. So it's an homage to we all have these beautiful voices in us. And, let, let's see what your voice is and get it out there and share it and add value to people's life. If I could save one life or shed light on something or make people not feel judged that, wow, I know this is a problem. Like when I was a nurse, I walked into people's room. My job was to help them, not to judge them and to help them maybe find a path. So Yellowbird, I made into an image, a symbol, but it's also a character in the film. It's a nightclub. It's a nightclub where this is my Rocky story. And I named the character after my mom, Dolores. And Dolores meets a handsome, charismatic drug lord, and she's totally taken with him, but she has to leave him in order to recover. And just a quick aside, my mother's name was Dolores, and I thought it was so beautiful. My grandfather named her after Dolores Del Rio. And she said, I hate this name. I said, why, Mom? It's so pretty. She said, because Dolores means sorrow in Spanish. It means
Oh, yeah.
tangled, tangled.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so
Wow. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for using your platform and your vision and your storytelling to shed light on that as well, because I know that's actually what I do. I didn't just start it, but I partnered with Mark Hoberman, and we have the power of choices where we're actually doing the same thing. It's not in the entertainment industry as well, but I know we are helping, with substance abuse prevention, anti-bullying, and different things like that. And the programs that we offer definitely are in alignment with what you're talking about. But it's so important because there was this one time when I was in the hospital, I tore my ACL, maybe about this was about 5 or 6 years ago. But there was a patient there when I was sitting down. I just saw him; he was very addicted to the opioids, and ever since then, I'm like, wow, I want to help people prevent or make the right choices to prevent going down, that path. So, why is it that you chose opioids specifically to talk about in your Yellowbird project?
well, that what 2016 I was in pre-production for The Admired. This is my award-winning film, and all this went down just before, like in September, and I was shooting the film in February. And that's when my husband and I had to pull our resources to help
Mhm.
one of the young people that I know who we love so much.
Yeah.
um, and so I just thought, oh my God. And it was opioids. And then I started thinking, oh my God. I remember when I was a nurse back in the 90s at New York Hospital, and
Mhm.
there was a commercial producer who was like, oh, I can get you a commercial if you can, get some extra opioids. I hurt my back and I need it. And I said, that's my RN license. It's triple prescription. It's for the hospital and, for New York State. And that's not what I do. I am a registered professional nurse and I have a
Mhm.
code of ethics and I can't do that. So I realized the desperation in people when you're so addicted, you can't even think straight. You do so I thought, well, how can I help people? And so I thought, well, let me use everything I know, my personal pain from going through what I did, with the person I love. And, my stepfather had been an alcoholic. So addiction runs rampant and it's not something that's easily fixed.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me write this script. Again, the whole idea is if I can help one person, if I can have them look at that film and say, oh my God, I see me in that. I
Mhm.
see me. What can I do or not do? But just know that they're like not alone. And I know Mark Hoberman. I've had an interview with him, and it's amazing. But when people have a support group, even if they can't stay straight, if they fall back, which happens a lot. My husband was like, "Oh, Jacqueline, I know you want him to get well, but I think there's like a 90% rate of addicts going back to the drug, you
Mhm.
know, just anything that can bring some light and save a life and let people know they're not alone."
Yeah,
Um,
and that's seriously so beautiful. Thank you for that as well, because a lot of people would see it and just continue about going on their own way and just kind of only worrying about themselves. So just the fact that you actually saw it and you're shedding some light on it. Thank you so much for everything that you do, Jacqueline. It's really important and it's really powerful. So everybody that's out there watching too, don't think that you don't ever have a voice. If you can affect one person, you can affect 500. If you can affect 500, then 1,000, and we can really start to make the difference in everybody's lives as well. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy and very optimistic, but it's definitely true. And all it takes is one person, as you already know. So,
yeah.
Jacqueline, I kind of want to pivot back to your acting career, which is still on the same page. But there's one specific video when I was doing my research that I wanted to share with everybody, and I want to talk about the mindset that goes into it. So I'm going to share this clip with everybody very, very quickly, and it's
Okay.
only going to be about 10 to 15 seconds long. So I'm going to stop it right at the point where I think it needs to be stopped. So here it is. I'm bringing it up right now. You know how technology is; it just wants to be a little slow right now, but that's okay. So let me know when you can see this, and
Okay.
here it is.
Oh,
See,
yeah. Oh, I love
perfect.
that. Yeah,
All
you
right,
could if you can. Oh, good. If you can make it even bigger, Dano, like hit that.
yeah,
You know how to do that. Okay, great.
there it is. All right,
Awesome.
cool. So I'm gonna stop it right at the part where when it's time to shoot the scene. But when it comes to that part, let's just play it and then I'll explain it.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Why is it acting? You know how technology is. It's
That
always
little
something.
arrow needs to hit the white arrow in the bar. Yeah.
I don't want to give away
Uh,
my age, but I'm 27, and you would know how to play a YouTube video, right?
yeah, you have to just hit that little white triangle that's on its side.
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna
not working correctly, but you know what? That's all right. So I'm just going to explain to everybody. Oh, there it is.
What do you think? You like what you hear so far, or do you need to get sounds good. How did the T spandex cross?
Yeah.
One B, take three.
I do want to think about it from all angles, but I have to say that
All
Mike
right.
usually.
Well, it's not as smooth as I would like it to be.
Do we have it running twice, maybe? Try it
No,
one
it's
more time so they could see it, because I want them to see Carlos's work and Todd
yeah,
producing.
definitely.
Jess, the Indian girl, she's fabulous. I think she's like 19 or 20, and she's doing so many amazing things. Only if it's easy for you. If it's not,
Yeah.
that's
Let's see if we can do this again. Let's see. Ready?
okay.
We're going to hit play. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is right now. You know how technology goes.
Yeah, if I had my phone, I could play it for you here. Uh, does that help? Or do you want to talk about the
No,
particular?
it's all right. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring the part specifically when we are going, when they're about to go, when you're sitting down at the table, as everybody just saw, and they're about to yell, action, and they close the director's, scene. What is going on in your mind at that moment? Like, is there a flip that switches in your mind to go into character? What's running through your mind as that's happening?
Yeah, it just, I guess, like Dano, after years of doing this, I've been Screen Actors Guild since 1982. So I started when I was 3. Um, it's just boom. It's just like when you're a professional, or even like I took a dance class today. The music starts, the 8 count's going to change, and then it's boom. It goes on for me. And Carlos is a wonderful director. He rehearsed with us prior, and it's about trust. The Jess, the woman who was running, the clapper, and she was learning how to. This was her first day as a cinematographer on set, And Todd, our producer, is holding the boom, and we are shooting it in my conference room in my building because we're a low budget. So talk about like a team working together. And Carlos, who wrote this script, is outside in his car so he could say his lines. So we have him mic'd. There's just so many funny things going on. And the campaign manager, Peter Kwong, who's been in like Marvel movies and action movies, he's like pretty amazing too. We're all good to go. You know, we all trust each other. We all like each other. We have fun. I mean, I'm sure it's not always so rosy on every single set.
Yeah.
But this was a really fantastic project. And I had worked on it in October of 22. And what you just saw, we were shooting the last scene in March of 23 because we were hoping to submit it to the for Emmy nomination. So we had to get vetted. We had to show little clips of all our work. And the Television Academy decided whether it was a certain quality and good enough to be on the ballot, to be considered for Emmy nomination. And we were fortunate it was. You know, Carlos really trusted me, and I'm so grateful in so many ways. He asked me to be a producer on the show after having me, casting me as an actress. And I brought in talent to help elevate and make a through line for the story. I brought Tommy and Shelby Chong, who are my amazing friends, and very grateful, and a big shout out to them. And Ken Javidian from Borat, the heavyset guy in Borat, that was a real comedic talent.
Yeah.
And I, you know, there was such trust and openness on the set, and it was wonderful. Variety said we were number 5 to be nominated, and Carlos was, you know, also, you know, in the top 5, and I was number 3 as an actress. But then, you know, you lose out to the bigger, more recognizable shows like, you know, Kevin Hart or James Corden or Netflix or Amazon. But that you're building a following, and hopefully we'll do season 2. But also I have like my other projects I'm working on. So it was just a wonderful whirlwind. And then again, that was another unexpected event. He asked me to be an actress. He created this 30-second commercial of me when I was away on vacation from pieces he pulled from the internet. And I came home and I said, oh my God, you're amazing. So that's, you know, don't limit your creativity and what you can do. And we have so many resources, you know, you even found our work on YouTube. So, and I started my own YouTube channel since then, Jacqueline Murphy Actress. You have it up, which is sweet.
Yeah, right there on the screen. Of course, we got to do everything that we can do to support you as well. And yeah, and it's so incredible because, you know, we had Carlos on about maybe 3 weeks ago, and just the energy that you provide and he provides, you can tell that this project and this amazing piece of film that you have is definitely worthy to win, just because of the people that's heading the project. So even if, you know, the Kevin Harts and the James Corden, whoever it is, that's all about, you know, the politics and the money. So don't even worry about that. But when it comes to quality, we can see it inside and out of the both of you. So thank you so much for the both of you for coming on and sharing that.
Yeah, I just want to say Carlos's show is Pepito's America, and it's on YouTube. So if you can subscribe. And again, my work and Carlos's, the work I did with Carlos is up on Jacqueline Murphy Actress, and subscribe. It's free. And then this was on the Emmy nomination ballot in 2018 as a short form drama web series. So to everybody out there, you want to create something, you have your phone. Create a web series, you know, get your vision out there, and you'll get better and better at it. And then, so I knew what was required to submit for the Academy. And then I was able to assist Carlos with that, which was good.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody just get started. I mean, Jacqueline, what you just said is so essential. Everybody has a phone nowadays, and with the phones, they're just as good as a high quality camera. So there's no excuse for not to get started. Set aside that time for you to work on your passions and your projects, and just wait, you don't even have to wait. Just experience what it's like as it unfolds, and the journey is just as beautiful as the destination. So you have to hear a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with some more questions. I know you guys are lighting it up in there in the comment section, but we'll get to those right after we hear a word from our second and third sponsor. So don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you have to do to keep your vibrations high, because we'll be right back with some more Weekly Dose of Dano TV here with the legendary Jacqueline Murphy. Wait, oh, so there it is. I don't know why this video is not playing. Aaron, when I get my hands on you, we're going to have a conversation about this. No, I'm just kidding. So everybody, thank you so much for the sponsors, to Great Success, to the Power of Choices, and also the No Strings Attached News Journal. And now, Jacqueline, we're going to switch to more of the fun questions that we have prepared here. Not so serious. We're going to take it easy and keep it light, keep it going, and keep it flowing. So, Jacqueline, if you could create a crossover episode between maybe two of all the characters that you've ever acted or directed, what two would you want to have in this special crossover episode, and why?
Well, that's a great question. Well, okay. I love Olivia Spencer. She's a frustrated actress who time travels, who makes a Faustian deal with the devil to time travel back to old Hollywood and get her dream to be a big movie star like Veronica Lake. But all is not what it seems. So there's so much to play with on that. And from this web series, I made it into a feature film called Sorceress of Hollywood, because she realizes she has a genetic talent for magic and she can empower herself. So talk about magic. So I decided I don't want her to have to wait on this devil. She's going to do what she likes. But then she's got to choose between being a movie star and taking her rightful position as the Sorceress of Hollywood. So I would cross that over. Maybe it's because it's so fresh. Why not cross it over with Carlos's Pepito's America? And he's I love that it is from the Latin culture, Pepito. So maybe he's such a hustler. He meets my character, Olivia, the actress, and he wants to be able to be a movie star in 1940s. And I bring him back to the 40s, and he fumbles around with not only a different time period, but the Latin culture in 1940s Hollywood. I mean, there was some very handsome Latin men in the 40s. So that could be a lot of fun. I think The Admired was more of a drama, but bringing in Pepito's America and Carlos would be hysterical, because he's so multi-talented and his comic timing is really funny. And we worked fantastic off each other. So,
Yeah. And there's so many different ways you can go with that. Like, you could even have it so that, when he goes back into the 1940s, the devil offers him the same thing. So they have to compete with each other to see who wants it more. or he goes back and he actually gets that from the devil, and then she becomes jealous, and then she has to beat him out by working hard and doing things her way versus him just getting handed everything. There's so many different ways you can go with that too. This is why it's very exciting. And yeah, thank you for bringing that up too. And Carlos, again, shout out to you if you're watching this, with your comedic timing, your awesome writing, and just your great spirit as well. So, Jacqueline, we only have a few minutes left because I end off the show with the same question, which is going to be something that's pretty serious. But this next one is still the same thing with light and fun and just creative. So, if there are there any dream projects or roles that you want, that's like, oh, that would be like my dream role or my dream project?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to work with Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig. Their Barbie film was amazing. I love The Morning Show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. I'd love to have a part on there. I've played so many newscasters and hosts on various shows. There's so many amazing directors. I just saw Michael Mann's Ferrari, and I actually got to say hello and talk with him briefly. And, David O. Russell, American Hustle, his film is outrageous. I've met him as well. And I have worked with Marty Scorsese in Goodfellas. So, but yeah, there's so many amazing, talented people that I'd love a dream role that I couldn't even anticipate. I mean, yeah, maybe a doctor that makes a huge difference, but has vices, or a big Hollywood movie star. I was watching The Swans last night on Hulu with Babe Paley and all the beautiful socialites in New York and Truman Capote. I love Ryan Murphy, and in fact, The Admired, he loves Hollywood, so I was hoping that maybe he would like my Sorceress of Hollywood. I do have my manager and TV packager taking it out to hopefully someone will be interested and pick up Sorceress of Hollywood, because I like the fantasy genre a lot. But there's also a lot to be said for medical dramas and shows like The Morning Show and Succession. And, there's so many talented people out there. I'd be grateful and thrilled to work, on all these wonderful shows that are here today, in our
Yeah.
world.
Definitely. And like how you found that common ground with Robert Redford, with Mr. Murphy as well. You can say, hey, you're my long lost cousin, or I wonder if there's a relation somewhere along the line in the family tree, right? So there's
I
your
love
in right there.
Actually, he directed The Normal Heart, and they had me in for an audition to play a mother that loses her son to AIDS. And when I got done, the casting people were like crying. They were like, "Oh my God, that's so good." I didn't get that part, but boy, was I excited when I went in. And sometimes, you can't get discouraged because you may get something or not get something for all crazy reasons. So,
Mhm.
I also, I auditioned for a cheerleader commercial, and I had no idea it was Geico, no idea it was with the iconic caveman or with NFL star Brian Orakpo. And I go to the audition, and the director comes over and gives me direction. And he goes, the caveman, right? And I swear to God, for a moment, I didn't know. I was just doing, I didn't know. And then I get a call a month later. No ifs, ands, or buts. The client wants you. You are the Geico cheerleader. And if you Google Geico cheerleader, you'll see the commercial. And it was a national commercial. I got paid like 2 years. We were, on all this, we were in the sports bars. I couldn't walk into a bar and, oh, like, aren't you the Geico cheerleader? So you just don't know, Dano, from one day to the next when that break is going to come. And so, you just keep on working and doing what you love. And, hopefully it'll make a difference, and I'll add value to somebody's life, and they'll enjoy what I do.
Yeah, and probably with the Geico cheerleader commercial, you've added their value to their lives because they have you on the poster on their wall, right? So hey, that's still adding value after they see that.
Well, I mentioned it because we have football season coming up.
Yeah,
And so I'm going to repost it on my Instagram, just because like you were talking about posting, I try to do things that are timely and, grab people's attention. So. Yeah.
Definitely. And the Super Bowl is coming up too. So what better time than right now to do it? There's also a question that we have here, and we only have a few minutes left. So here it is. If you could answer this very quickly from the Positivity Posse, do you miss all my children?
Hi, Jeanette. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, I do. It was a fantastic time in my life. It was like a big break because most of my friends couldn't get acting work. And when they saw that I had under special skills registered nurse, then that's what opened the door for me. So never underestimate the other skills you have. Susan Lucci was an amazing, generous actress. She just got a Lifetime Achievement Award for daytime, an Emmy. And I remember she was nominated 17 times before she won. And
Wow.
fortunately, I had just come on the show and she won. So I was thrilled for her. But the actors were there, Peter Bregman, I believe he's now on Young and Restless, and Walt Wiley. I mean, those were kind of like the good old days for me. And I just would have to go to across town. ABC Studio was on 67th and Columbus. There was a cool restaurant called Columbus, and all the stars would go there. And it was just really great, And as I think it's a little more difficult for people to break in these days because there's so many people that want to get in. But don't lose hope and keep going for it. And yeah, so that was a great question. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you can tell by the smile on your face and the way that you answered the question that it was a great time in your life, and it does seem like you do miss it. So you never know what's ahead for you. The good days aren't over just yet. They might just be starting going forward.
Oh yeah, no, I am so pro women of and especially of women in my age because you can do anything at any time. And a friend said to me that if the mind thinks that you're getting old, then you're giving it that message. And if the mind, and Tony Robbins was saying, if the mind thinks, oh, I'm so fearful and anxious, I can't do this. No, you can do this. And I'm still 22, so watch out.
There it is. Watch out, everybody. Definitely. And Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here. This was absolutely amazing. We have to finish off with the last question, though, and we only have about a minute or two. So if you can try to shove everything that you just embody in this
I'm good.
positive spirit and this answer, that would be
Yeah.
great. So
Okay.
if somebody's watching right now and they may be in their deepest, darkest moments, what advice would you have to give to them in order to get out of that rut?
Say a prayer. Pray. Pray to God and your angels and to yourself. And remember to thank yourself for all the amazing things you have done and for staying healthy and for for all your efforts. You may be trying to get a job, or you may be want to go for a drink, or you lost someone you love. Um, Try to surround yourself with support groups. I called my sister today. She had lost her spouse, and I know she was going through a hard time. Don't be afraid to reach out to other people and groups. A lot of churches have grieving groups. There's, all kinds of groups, but don't ever stop believing in yourself because honestly, there were times for me that were so hard, but I got up early in the morning and I did what I needed to do. So promise yourself that you're going to get through it, and you're going to, you're going to get to the other side, and you're not alone. As I just shared my experience, and Dano has shared his, and there are people that will be there to help you, whether it be Catholic Charities, so many different, just take a breath and be good. Oh, and I just want to show your viewers this book. This is The Artist's Way, and it's a journal, Morning Pages for Your Dream by Julia Cameron. And you could see all the writing I've done over the years for my wishes and my dreams. So for someone who's feeling dark out there, here's one: recover a sense of power. Recover your own sense of power. And there's so much on the internet that you can tune into, but really tune into a person and tune into you, and be good to yourself and soothe yourself. That's, and I really feel like when you pray, you connect with something other than yourself, and you feel that you're not alone, and you can leave your fear at God's feet, and He will take care of you. I do believe that.
That's so beautiful. So I just want to give you a big virtual hug and say thank you so much for coming on today. This was absolutely spectacular. Lou says right here, great message, and we appreciate your time.
Uh,
Jeanette says, my condolences for your sister's loss. Definitely 100%
thank-
from the entire positivity posse to you, sending you the great energy and the prayers that you need. And he says again, such a great episode. And everybody that's watching that can't comment, we are all saying the same thing. Thank you, Jacqueline, for everything that you've done, everything that you're continuing to do, and using your voice and your great platform to help others, to help yourself, and to leave this world in such a better place and shape than when we found it in. One more time, Jacqueline, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, where can they find you at?
Instagram, Jacqueline Murphy 13. I'd love for you to comment on the film and subscribe, Jacqueline Murphy Actress. I'm on Facebook. And please mention Dano. I think Lou and Joanne, was it, were making a lot of comments?
Jeanette.
Jeanette, I just want to give a special shout out. Please feel free to message me. And Dano, I just wish greatness for you. I hope you become the next Johnny Carson, Jimmy Fallon, and you have me on your show. And maybe I could even co-host an episode with you. That would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to take you up on that offer now since you said it. I got the video evidence. So you better be ready for it when we do have it into the positivity process.
Yes. And a shout out to Beatrice, whom we met through. She's been pretty amazing.
Definitely. And thank you, Beatrice, and everybody that's had a hand in this, whether we can see the hand or even if you're just supporting through the internet. We really appreciate everything that you've done here for Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And everybody, next week, we have Priscilla Leona coming on. She's absolutely amazing, a really, really big influence in Hollywood as well. She's a big time interviewer, goes to all the great parties. I think a really big best friend of hers is Jamie Foxx. So everybody, I hope you're ready for that. Stay safe throughout the weekend. Jacqueline, if you could stay just for another minute or two, I just want to ask you a quick question. Don't go anywhere just yet. And Jeanette and Lou, thank you guys. And to the rest of the Positivity Posse, you guys are all amazing. So everybody have a great weekend. And I will see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Thank you to the Positivity Posse. And thank you, Jacqueline, as well. We appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Have a great weekend. Let's see. Where is, oh, here it is.